What's going on, Shady people? ShadyPenguinn here, and I'm very excited to bring you the beginning of our epic journey that you guys are going to understand more of as we go through this video. So, this video is, of course, sponsored by King, and if you guys follow me on social media, you'll know that that is a pretty huge deal. Very recently, I got to spend 4 days in Sweden. Now, I've never traveled outside the country, so this was a huge opportunity for me. We were going to Sweden to celebrate the soon launch of a brand new game called Legend of Solgard. But before we get to Sweden, I was sent this package that you guys are gonna see a little bit of, but you're gonna see way more of it next week. And in this package are a bunch of different things that I'm not gonna spoil just yet, so you guys are gonna have to stick around till next week to see that video. But I did happen to receive an invitation to Camp Ragnarok. This is where we're going to learn what we needed to know in order to survive Ragnarok. Now, if you don't know what Ragnarok is in Norse mythology, Ragnarok is basically the end of time. You may have heard it before in one way or another, but that is ingrained into Norse mythology. And we had to go to Camp Ragnarok in Sweden to understand and obtain the skills we need to in order to kick some ice. So that was basically the invitation to go, and I was super excited, super pumped. Of course, I jumped right on it, got on a plane, flew for 8.5 hours, and ended up in Sweden. It was really cool. Now, Ragnarok is an event that's going to be happening inside the Legend of Solgard, and it's something that I need to be able to defeat since I'm going to be playing this game a lot. Well, we got to Sweden, and it was really cool. We landed, we were greeted by a bunch of friendly faces, and then we had to go on a boat. We had to go on a boat and travel across the river in order to get to our campsite. And it was incredible, right? Like, first time going into the country, you get off a plane after being in the air for 8 hours, traveling for over 13, and they're like, yo, we're just gonna go on this boat. And the boat did have a motor, but halfway through, the motor decided to kick out, and we had to actually row to the rest of the campsite, which was really awesome. And once we were at the campsite, everything just started making more sense and flowing. I mean, it made perfect sense. They said, hey, you're in Sweden, you're getting in a boat and you're rowing. But it was just so awesome to see the campsite lit up, being greeted by more and more friendly faces. And of course, being greeted by Ratatusk, our guide for the weekend, who was kind of letting us know about more about Camp Ragnarok and the skills we would acquire throughout our time there. So it ended up being just a crazy weekend of learning, of action, and I'm so lucky that I get to share this stuff with you guys. The awesome people there had filmed a bunch of it. My camera unfortunately broke while getting transported to the hotel. That's not a big deal. That stuff happens, but they have all this incredible footage that some of it you guys are already seeing. And so we start with the boat ride, we get to the camp, and it's kind of the end of the day, so we just have a nice dinner, relax. And the following day, the true training begins. And I was split off with a group of other wonderful people, both press and content creators, and we had to go and learn how to shoot a bow and arrow, which is really cool. I actually used to shoot in high school just for like 2 years, once a month. Like, it was archery club, but it was very far and few between. But they got some awesome footage of me trying to take out some frosties that kind of plague the land of Midgard and Solgard. So we had archery. I honestly was not that great at it. I got some wonderful advice from my good friend Eric.
Arrow perfectly straight and just look straight down it, like you just point it where you want it to go, and then you let go.
I'm doing, but I guess I'm doing it wrong. Point and shoot. You basically just said point and shoot. That's like, with a lot of words in between.
Yeah. Okay. Eric's dishing out the advice.
Oh, your advice worked.
And as basic as that advice was, yes, it actually worked. I was able to improve my aim just by looking down and focusing. So really fun times. I would give myself like a C when it comes to archery. I was pretty rough around the edges, but I'd go with a C. So after archery, we did have a little lunch, but right back to the training we went, where we had to learn how to handle ice. You see, in the Legend of Solgard, ice has been the main enemy of the people, thanks to the moon god, who's just been cursing the land and freezing everyone and freezing everything all over the place. So we need to know how to handle ourselves around some freezies and around some ice. So the first thing we had to do was we had to get familiar with our weapon of choice, which for that day was an axe. So we had an axe and we had this giant block of ice, and we had to learn how to take chunks of it out. And as you guys can see right now, I learned how to take chunks of it out. I almost took my foot out while doing it, but you know what? as a warrior, I was very quick on my feet and no damage was done to me. Really, really awesome. The Freezies can't touch this. But after learning how to kind of hold the axe and become one with it and not have it bounce off the ice, we had to go and learn how to chuck the axe. And that was incredible. Apparently the group that went before us had a tough time hitting the target, but our group of warriors was pretty good. We had multiple people hit the targets, including myself. And I gotta be honest, it looks so much harder than it is, and it felt so much better than you can imagine when I actually hit the target. It was a lot of fun. So that was about precision. And it was great. It was about just being able to hit the mark, which is another skill, of course, we needed when we're dealing with freezes and ice in the Legend of Solgard. So after landing our target that day, I believe that was the end of that day. We had another wonderful dinner in this really blue room. It was really good atmosphere and absolutely incredible food. And the next day was gonna be another full day of full body training. We had to take on 25 kilometers or about 15 and a half miles of rapids. And we have a little bit of footage from that you guys could see. Actually ended up being like, it was intense for sure, because there were some really intense rapids. We had a lot of fun. We were jumping in the river. We were pushing people. They were pushing us. I got thrown off my boat like 5 times by our captain, Julia. And it was so much fun. And seriously, afterwards, my body just felt ready. I thought I was gonna feel so much more sore, but I felt so good. If you ever get the chance to go to Sweden, you have to just drink the river water. I'm telling you, I was drinking the river water the whole time. I came back feeling just revitalized, like there's some juices in there that can really get your blood flowing. After a long day of river rapids, because that was like 25 kilometers, I think we were doing it for about 6 hours with a lunch break in the middle of that. But we got back, and we got to have a meeting with the developers of Legend of Solgard. And throughout the weekend, I've gotten the opportunity to talk to them, obviously, but this is where they kind of got to pour their heart out. These guys, man, Alex and Nicholas, they have such passion for this game. It was really cool. It was the first experience I had where I got to sit down with developers of a game that I had already been playing for a little while, because at this point I had my hands in the game and I'd been just diving into and trying to learn all the different strategies and all the different creatures that are involved in this game. And I'm so excited for you guys to get to see the gameplay in a little while, not in this video, but a little bit down the road. You guys are gonna see some gameplay from me, and it's one grand game. Let me tell you, there is a lot going on, but that's my kind of scene, right? There's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of growth that both your character and your creatures take throughout the game. There's so many different game modes, and having that not one-on-one, but getting to hear the devs kind of pour their heart and listen to their story and really learn how all of this ties into Norse mythology, which is a topic that I love, that I've always wanted to get more into, but haven't, really blows me away. The passion from these guys is incredible, 100%. And that was kind of the ending. And I know when I talk about it in this video, it feels so short. It doesn't feel like there was much going on, but being out there in nature and being out there with all these people in the industry was just incredible. It was absolutely incredible to get to experience something like this. And I'm really glad that I got to share with you guys a little piece of it. There is no way to fully convey the emotions and the amount of just happiness I felt while being in Sweden. It was the best trip of my life. That's all I can really say. It was the best trip of my life. And I don't understand how I got so lucky to be one of the creators, one of the influencers chosen to go there. Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm totally allowed to say this, but they did. Hearing me say out loud how lucky I am. They actually did concept art of a character of me if I was in the Legend of Solgard, if I was a big baddie in there. And you guys can see it here. I'm a dwarf. My ears have been. I got an underbite. It's fantastic. It was super humbling when the developers revealed that to me, along with the 3 other influencers they revealed it to. And it was just, it was such a cool experience. It was by far the most positive experience I've had with a game company. And I will admit, it definitely lit a fire in my belly for this game. It's weird, just getting me, like I was emphasizing before, mostly talking to the developers. The trip was fantastic, but getting to connect with them and hear how long they've been working on it, all the hours they poured in, the passion, the ideas, the changes after changes after changes, where they want to get this great game right. It really got me attached. And then just as I was playing, obviously even more throughout the weekend and unlocking more game modes and unlocking more abilities, I just saw how vast this game could be. So overall, Sweden was just, it was just incredible. It was incredible for me as a person, just experiencing something like that and being around a bunch of professionals in the industry. And it was an incredible experience for me as a gamer, and getting to kind of get a peek behind the curtain with developers that have a team of 18 and they're all working hard on this project, this game, and bringing it to life, and getting it brought to life in different ways and different activities was just, it was incredible. So that was pretty much my time in Sweden. Like I said, it seems kind of short when I condense it here, but man, it was an experience I will never forget. And there's even more unforgettable experiences for me to share with you guys. Like I said, and I kind of hinted at, I got a special package before going to Sweden. I'm gonna be able to show you guys exactly what was in that package in a few days. So you're gonna wanna stick around for that. Once again, King, thank you so much for sponsoring this. Not even just this video, you have sponsored this video, you have sponsored the tweets that have gone out with hashtag ad, but thank you just for giving me as a person an opportunity to experience Sweden in such a unique and incredible way. And with that, I wanna thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to show some shady love to that thumbs up down below. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Joined the hundreds of shady people hitting that button every day. And with that, I'm gonna get the hashtag out of here. Have yourselves a fantastic day, but above all else, keep it shady.